What is up, everybody? This is the Plug Podcast, music and more. I am Bushy. That is Metal Mike. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Metal Mike, how are you?
I'm good, man. Just my brother just called me, so I was like, "Look, dude, recording with Bushy. Let me call you back. We got stuff we got to do, man."
Well, especially after we tried to record this episode, what, Thursday night? Thursday.
Yeah,
Yeah. And as it always happens, Metal Mike and I, we don't talk on the phone as much as we should.
yeah,
So when we get in here, we spend an hour and a half just bullshitting.
yeah. Maybe we need to talk to each other more often on the phone so we can, uh, yeah, that's probably
Yeah,
not
we
a
were
good
we
idea.
were just talking, catching up, and start recording. We're about 20 minutes in recording, and lo and behold, as healthcare goes, Metal Mike got called into work, so we had to
Yeah,
scrap it and come back.
right, right. Yeah, kind of fucking sucked. Hold on 1 minute, bro. All right, okay, let's do this, dude.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So what are we talking about this week?
Well, I thought it'd be kind of a cool idea because we're always discovering new music. Now, when we say new music, folks, we don't always mean like brand spanking new. We mean something that may be even new to us. And I just thought it'd be kind of cool. Well, what if we did an entire episode of The Plug where we're plugging stuff that we've kind of recently discovered or that we like? And doesn't have to be like we're not going to rank them, doesn't have to be any particular order. Just stuff that I think our fellow listeners might like. Listeners, music lovers, people that are fellow podcasters, online radio personalities, things that YouTubers, even things that they might be like, man, that'd be pretty fucking cool. Let me check that out. So that's what I've done. I've compiled a list. Plus, there was a new show that my nephew Kane turned me on to, which would probably be more suited for the Nerdgasm episode that we're going to record here in the very near future. But, you know, but yeah, I just figured, man, this would be the plug and stuff kind of episode, if that
Yeah,
makes any sense.
absolutely. Some of the stuff we've heard before. I've got a couple here that aren't necessarily new bands, but
Oh
it's
no, no,
albums I had
not
never.
everybody on my list is new bands. Some of them
Yeah.
just have maybe a new record out, or it could be Um, and some of them have bands I've talked about before. I mean, one of them's a very, very old band, but it's just something I'm just, and like I said, this list could have went on forever. There's so much cool stuff coming out right now. I will say this though, I had a pretty cool night last night. Last night we went to see a tribute band. And my buddy Big B and Bildo's cousin Brandon had seen them while we were at Rockin' Pod
Okay.
the last time, and they're called the Four Horsemen, and they're a Metallica tribute band, and all they do is everything from Kill 'Em All to the Black Album, and that's it.
Nice.
Songs from that era of the band, because the dude sounds just like a young James Hetfield. But here's the more fucked up thing: they with each show they do a slight little tribute to Megadeth because Dave was an original member of Metallica and
Right.
they feel like he should get his love too. He can do Dave Mustaine to a T too, dude.
Oh wow.
Sounds just like him. So they did a Symphony of Destruction. Now they only did the one Megadeth song when we saw him last night. When Brian and Brandon seen him, they did Sweating Bullets and Symphony. And then some people were cheering for Holy War, so they kind of kicked into the beginning of it, but they didn't play the whole song. They just stopped and said, "Yeah, we can play that shit too if we want to." Yeah.
Nice.
And I think it's just because, a lot of people, that's always, if you're going to do Megadeth, that's the challenge, right? Can you do Holy Wars? Because well, it's a pretty complex song.
Yeah, yeah.
But the band, in fact, and it fits in perfectly with this episode. The band that opened from is a band that's from Alton, Illinois. Now, Alton, Illinois is where I was born. It's where Bill was born too, and Bill went to high school in that area. Uh, uh, Now there's another band that I've been playing on my show called 1781. And that's how I met this band. This band's kind of like they're all over the place. They're really heavy. They kind of got elements of like alternative metal, but yet mixed with like thrash and hardcore or metalcore. They're called Birds of Squalor.
Huh.
even some death metal elements, man. But I really dig them. They're really, really good, man. Like I really like them. But I've been able to find their music online, but I wasn't able to download it to find anywhere to download it. So I finally just hit the guitar player up because he knows who I am. He supports what me and Bill do at Cranium Radio and what we do here at the podcast. So he's going to send me their album or their stuff, because I need MP3s as an online DJ. It's essential for me to have it in some kind of, it doesn't have to be necessarily MP3 format, but it's got to be either a FLAC file or, it has to be some kind of, sound file. I can't just stream stuff to stream to you. I'm on the stream, but yeah, so
Yeah, yeah.
they're going to send me their music and I'm going to kind of start pushing them and maybe even do maybe a block of like just local, because there was another metal band that, Sam Wetz turned me on to that I did play on my show the other night. They're called Freefield, and they're from St. Louis, and they're kind of like a stoner rock band, but they're really cool too. So just throwing those out there. I played some Freefield last Friday and this next Friday. Now, after that, though, the next couple of Fridays, there won't be a Metal Mike show because one, I'll be in Nashville here with Bushy, and then the next week, I'm going to be seeing Jeff Tate on that Friday. So he's doing,
Is this the Operation Mindcrime tour?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
the amount of envy I have right now is unhealthy
Sorry, man.
because I bet that'll just be amazing.
I've seen them do it. I've seen Queensryche perform Operation Mindcrime in its entirety once, and it was amazing. It was something I couldn't pass up because they were here in town and they're doing that. I mean, I love Jeff Tate, but I'm not a big fan of. I love a certain era of Queensryche. Let's just put it that way. Now, I do like some of the new music that the new lineup's done, but that's because they've kind of gone back to their fucking roots. I love Jeff, man, but he's just gotten really weird with his musical output here in the last few years.
I was done with Queensryche after Empire. I tried Q2K. Was not my bag. It was
Right. Well, I
way
didn't mind. I didn't mind Promised Land. I thought Promised Land was pretty decent, but after that, then they did that Here and the Now Frontier, which wasn't bad. But and then when DeGarmo left, they just weren't the same.
yeah,
I mean, to me, the nucleus of Queensryche is Jeff Tate and Chris DeGarmo. And once DeGarmo left and became a pilot full time, it was like, I guess he's like, fuck it, I've made enough money. I love flying planes. I'm just gonna fly planes for the rest of my life.
right.
I feel like Queensryche kind of lost something. They definitely lost a bit of their heaviness because then Jeff was like wanting to do a lot of. It's just not that heavy. It's like yeah, I'm like, you guys are supposed to be a metal band, and you've become, I don't know what the fuck they became, man. And then a lot of his solo stuff hasn't really grabbed me either, or what he calls Operation Mindcrime as a band. And there was one song he did with a power metal band that my nephew Kane turned me on to. And I really liked that. And I was like, that's what you need to do, Jeff. You need to just find some fucking German power metal musicians and form a band and let them write the music and you just write the lyrics and sing, brother. Cause that's just my opinion, but hey,
Yeah, he'd be a great power metal vocalist.
oh yeah, dude, it was
Yeah.
great. It was great, man. I was like, fuck, man, this is really heavy and really cool. And I just want Jeff to rock again, man. I just want Jeff to be great again.
I feel that. I'm scrolling my phone here because I've been sharing this young thrash band,
Oh yeah?
and
I'm gonna write them down if I don't know them. Who are they?
I'm that's what I'm trying to find because I don't remember the name of the band. I know that when I went to their page and I looked on Bandcamp and I looked on YouTube, man, you can't find. It's like they haven't released an album yet.
Just like singles?
No, not even singles. They do have a couple originals, but God, they also do a lot of cover stuff, and they're covering
Oh.
Megadeth, they're covering Metallica, you know, Exodus, things like that. They're very old school, and they'll tell you that. They're like, look, if you're looking for something new,
Not the
this is
place to
not the
be. Yeah.
place to be because they are an old school thrash metal band, and these kids, man, they can't be much older than their 20s. I might give them their mid late 20s. So it's a bunch of young guys that are doing this thrash metal, and I can just not for the life of me.
Well, you know what?
Yeah.
Just to interject on that, man. It was one thing that was kind of cool about last night. They had a pretty big turnout, and it was just cool because there was, like I said, Birds of Squalor had a good reaction, and then there was another cover band called Johnny Toxic. At first, I thought, oh, this is a punk band, or but they were a cover band, and they did a good job on almost. They nailed just about every one of their covers, and they were all over the place. I mean, they did shit like Alice in Chains and Guns N' Roses and Ozzy and AC/DC and Tool, and the Tool was a little, um, but and what I meant by that is, it they didn't quite do it justice. But man, they even did Rage Against the Machine and
Oh,
killed it, dude. Just killed it. No matter just about everything they did. I mean, they even did some stuff I'm not real big on, like Fallout Boy. But it was just great to see so many young people, and they knew every word to every song. Like they did The Trooper by Iron Maiden, and they're these young guys, dude. They knew every word to every song. I'm like, that's so fucking awesome, you know. And
the best when these
what
young
was the
guys are
best?
discovering the
And it
old
gets
school.
better, dude. There was literally a metal family. There was a grandma, a mom, a dad, and little kids. And the little girl had a metal church shirt on, signed by the band. And I'm like,
That's
man,
badass.
Jerry, where are you when because he loves him some metal church. But I even told her, I was like, that's so awesome. The other thing that was weird is I was wearing my Testament shirt. And I got so many reactions from that, man, which I mean, I thought, well, it's appropriate. I'm going to like a tribute band of a thrash metal band, so I was debating on which one to wear. And I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to wear a Testament. My God, man, kept getting like, I'm in the middle of rocking out to this Metallica tribute band. And I had people have them on my shoulder. I like your shirt. Thanks, man. Thinking, can I get back to rocking out, please? But there was the guy who was wearing a Rage Against the Machine shirt, and he's like, "Dude, I love your shirt." I'm like, "Hey, I like yours too, dude." It was just really cool, man. It's just kind of no, it's just like there's something about, and to me, I'm gonna say it. I think it is kind of unique to the metal community where you go to a metal show and everybody bonds. I mean, I've been to other types of music shows, and I'm not saying everybody ain't there having a good time, but it's just different. It's just different.
Yeah, they're in their own world. It's like going to metal shows, hard rock shows, whichever. It's just it's a different community. You know what I mean? Because
Yes.
but most people don't understand this music, even though there's millions of fans worldwide. Your typical guy doesn't understand, or even
It's
typical color.
outsider music.
Yeah,
Metal, even punk, I think to a certain extent, it's outsider music. It's 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 not the norm, really. It's like I think people who I remember this musicologist, he said this about Ozzy, man. On one of the many, I don't think it was like a documentary like the ones he did. I think it was like maybe Behind the Music, that VH1 show.
yeah, oh yeah,
And this guy says if you feel alienated, if you feel neglected, if you feel unjustly persecuted, then Ozzy is speaking for you. And lots of people have felt that he was speaking for them. And I'm going, yeah, I've always felt that way, and to me, it's not just Ozzy. I feel that way about all metal. Like it's like it speaks for you almost, man. You're like, that's exactly how I'm feeling right fucking now. Songs like Suicidal Tendencies, You Can't Bring Me Down. I mean, I can still get a charge out of that song, especially like when life's kicking my ass
yeah,
and everything's going. I fucking put that song on. I'm like, fuck you. Like, I don't give a fuck. Fuck the world. Fuck life. Fuck everything. You're not going to bring me down. You're not going to
yeah.
stop me. You're not, and that's what I love about metal. And that's something that, other forms. And I love other, like you and I are not just metalheads. I mean, we listen to a lot of different kinds of music and stuff. And I love it all. But that's why I think heavy metal will always be my first love, because it really, you know, when my brother brought home Kiss Alive, man, it changed my life. And then after that, my older cousin and my neighbor Kevin, man, introduced me to all those other great 70s hard rock and metal bands. And I went down the rabbit hole, Bushy, and I never came back, man.
Hell yeah. Well, like I said, it's if you get it, you get it. And I
Yeah.
understand the people that don't because I don't
Right.
understand people like my girlfriend, God love you. all the sad, sappy, want to cut your wrist country she listens to. I'm like, baby, I would not be able to drive my vehicle without wanting to run it into a tree if I was listening to this all the time. I don't know. I don't know
Well,
what
I
to
don't
do.
mind that stuff, but I got to be in a certain mood for it. It's kind of like even the blues, as much as I love the blues sometimes, because blues can be very sad music. I mean, let's be honest, they call it the blues for a fucking reason, you know? Uh,
Yeah,
Um, and I love the blues, by the way, and I love old school outlaw country. But yeah, a lot of, I mean, that's one thing country and blues has a lot in common as far as thematically. A lot of the songs about heartbreak, about a woman doing you wrong. Um, uh, there is some parallels there. I mean, different execution, obviously.
the blues
But
just sounds better.
yeah, well, I agree. I agree. But I do like some, especially old school country, but even some of the newer stuff. I like, what's funny though is even the newer bands, or guys, I like the ones that kind of have that old school country. And I love bluegrass. I think bluegrass is amazing.
That's because you don't live in bluegrass country. Dude, I respect the musicianship.
Oh, it's amazing. Maybe
And
that's what
after
I like
that,
about it.
shove it right up your ass. I get so
Yeah, I
sick.
thought you liked bluegrass, brother.
I did until I moved to the mountains.
Oh, okay. You
And
got
it's
burned
like
out on it?
every Tom, Dick, and Harry around here has a fiddle and a fucking banjo, and that's all they want to play. I had a buddy that we tried playing together, and he plays bluegrass. I hadn't played in years, but I play rock and roll, metal, and I was very rusty. But even the chord progressions I was running through, he's just doing weird stuff, and I'm like, dude, this is not Cowboy Troy. It's not working. Okay, it's just I couldn't. You know,
Well,
uh,
'cause I know you go to that bluegrass festival once a
they
year.
call it an alternative bluegrass festival, but it's mostly country now. I mean,
Mhm.
every band's got a steel guitar, every band's got a banjo and a fiddle, but
Yeah.
they've also got an electric guitar and electric bass. And
Yeah.
the band I like so much. I mean, for fuck's sake, they close their set with War Pigs. Uh,
Right.
I mean, yeah, it's a very hillbilly version of it, but it's badass, and it is Doctor Fuck approved. I sent him
That's
a
awesome.
copy of the song, because uh, Orange Blossom Special is what they include in
Mm.
War Pig. So it's called War Pig / Orange Blossom Special. But in there, they're blending several different songs. They start off, they're playing War Pigs, which oddly enough sounds awesome with a fiddle. And then all of a sudden they're doing Alice in Chains, and then they're doing Rage Against the Machine, and then fucking they're doing Rock and Roll by Led Zeppelin. And in between all these different songs, because they'll do like a verse of each song. And all but between all these songs are doing the Orange Blossom Special in there. So you've got your bluegrass thing going on in the middle of it
Now,
too.
is that an original composition or is that like an old folk song or what's Orange
Orange
Blossom?
Blossom Special's one of those old bluegrass songs.
Okay.
Yeah, it's something that's very well known in that community.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool to
I
see
mean, I
that
bet I
blended.
probably have heard it then, because I've been to like a couple of bluegrass shows. My brother, there was this guy he went to see who was blind. Man, his brother, dude, this guy could fucking rip, man. And
Nice.
when he got done, my brother's like, I gotta say, man, I wasn't really into this kind, but I'm kind of coming around. He goes, that's the power of bluegrass, brother. He goes, Dame's the power of, and he knew Dave was a metalhead somehow. He's like, which fucked with Dave because Dave's like, but you're blind. How did you know I was? And he said he could hear his chain wallet dragon, and he's, because their senses are a lot heightened than ours. And he said, metalheads always wear that stuff. You're metalhead, right? And he goes, yeah, which was pretty funny, man. But yeah, he said, that's the
Right.
power of bluegrass, brother. And that guy, he loves all kinds of, most musicians are fans of other kinds of music. They may, like if they're a metal band or a metal artist, they like other stuff too. Um, I mean, fuck it, Lady Gaga loves the metal. So, there you go.
Right. I was hoping maybe in my YouTube I would find it, but I can't. I cannot
Oh,
find
this band?
this band that I'm looking for. Uh, so that I could at least say, hey, go check out their YouTube page and check them out on Facebook.
Yeah, because
But
I'm
there's some
curious, man.
guys I would like to reach out to and be like, hey, you guys want to come on kind of thing.
Right.
I don't know. Whenever I figure it out, I will definitely put it on the podcast page. But hell, I could tell you one thing. I'll go ahead now. I'll kick it off with this one. It's nothing new. Um, it's something that you either love or you hate. I happen to love. They dropped an album last year. I think it's like album 16 or so. And they long story career. It is The Cure. That latest album, well, I can't even read it. Songs of a Lost World is what it's called. Oddly enough, you'll never believe where I got this CD, Metal Mike. Our good buddy across the pond, um, Mac, James McCormick.
Oh, is he a Cure fan?
No, but
Uh,
somebody had given this to him, and he posted. I think it was Snapchats. I'm with
so
my
he sent that to you from Ireland?
yeah. I was like, dude, I'm jealous. He's like, you can fucking have it. I don't like this shite.
That's
So he
hilarious.
sent me the CD because because I hadn't had a chance to purchase it yet. It's great if you're a fan of The Cure. I love it. Some people have bitched a little bit about the production. I'm kind of like Ralph on this one. I'm not that guy. It either sounds good or it doesn't sound good. I don't know if it's the production or the songwriting. I think this album's great. I highly recommend you check it out. Songs of a Lost World. It's a little more political, I think, than The Cure normally is, but fuck it, it's still great. Artsy fartsy sad songs, Ralph.
No comment. I'll be nice. The Cure have never done it for me. There's like maybe a couple songs. I'm like, that ain't too bad, but I've never been a fan. But I have friends who are. My buddy Matt Powell, man, and Matt's a guy who, he's gonna be like, oh wow, he gave me a shout out. Matt's a dude I've known since junior high, middle school. Um, Very eclectic taste. Like he loves Slayer, he loves the heavy shit, but he loves The Cure. I think he even liked Duran Duran and shit like that. That I can't. I still to this day. And it's not that oh yeah, like new wave. No, fuck you. I like the Cars. I like good new wave music, motherfuckers. I can jam some soft cell. I don't like. I don't fucking like Duran Duran.
Oh,
Okay.
I've tried. I can't do it
I
anymore.
have.
I've
I
tried.
look, I acknowledge their talent. That fuck they can shred, man. I've heard them when they do guitar, they can play,
Yeah,
but it
yeah,
just doesn't grab me, man. I would never say they're not a talented band, but
right.
it's just something that just never hey, they've sold a mil they were a huge deal. So they must be doing something right.
Yeah.
See, I'm the kind of guy that if I had my own rock and roll hall of fame, I would induct those uh dudes because even though I don't like their music, I can acknowledge they have had a Hall of Fame career. Of
Yeah, exactly.
course, like I said, I don't even think the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame should be called the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It should be called the American Music Hall of Fame. That way they can induct any genre they want and nobody can fucking bitch about it.
Yeah, well, that's what they've been doing anyway. It's just that we've been bitching about it.
Yeah. Well, I don't really care one way or I'm like Rob. I'm like, I don't know why people get pissed about it. Like you ought to be used to it by now and how they are and what they do. And I mean, because it's one of those things where it's like when they inducted Madonna, Hall of Fame career, no doubt. Wouldn't really call her rock and roll, but that's just me, man. But
Yeah,
but like I said, I think if they called it, like Britain did it right, the British Music Hall of Fame, you can induct whoever the fuck you want, man, and you don't have to worry about, well, they're not music. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you gonna say? Like, it's music. Music means all music. That's only my point of contention is,
well, yeah, because then we couldn't get like NWA. Sure,
right. Which again,
sure.
NWA Hall of Fame career, no
Yeah,
doubt. Man. If you call it the American Music Hall of Fame, you don't have anybody going, "What the fuck are they? It's not the rock and roll." Because you got and I get it because they do call it the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and then the fact that they do have always because it's run by Rolling Stone, or at least it was.
yeah,
You didn't get your other hard rock metal bands that magazine. I mean, it's why I crack up when I see these 100 greatest metal albums. I'm like, and I know it's younger people on their staff who probably weren't even alive when Rolling Stone was snubbing their nose at Black Sabbath and
yeah,
Led Zeppelin and all the bands that, but they did.
Yeah.
They did, folks. They did. And even now, Jan Warner, he hates that shit. He hates that shit. And that's why I mean and they make these artists wait like a decade plus, and then when they find and then the artists and the fans are supposed to just roll over and thank our luck. Fuck you, man. I could care less. You people
Yeah.
are a joke. Johnny Rotten said it best, and I will see this though. I do have Disney Plus, so I watched a little bit of it. But even when I was watching it, there was acts that I'm like, they're not in yet. Just shocked me.
Yeah.
All kinds of me. I'm like, they're not in. They're only. So not only do they do it to Ozzy folks, they do it to other people. Where I'm like, man, what took so long? Like they should have been in way before now, but I gotta give Jack Black credit. His induction speech for Ozzy was lights out, man. He did a great job.
See, I still haven't seen it. You said it's on Disney Plus?
Mhm.
I'll have to look that up
You
then.
have to fucking go through, I mean, but that's the beauty of a clicker. You can just go through it. Don't watch the whole thing, but and even like some of the things they put together, like they inducted the MC5 and they had a whole thing about them. That part of it's cool, but it's still just like I don't know. I mean, I know they can only induct so many people a year, and it's got to be 25 years. But there's been many an artist and band that were eligible that should have been in way before they did. And then they wonder why people like Alex Lifeson's from Rush when he did his speech. I don't know if you ever, I know you're not a Rush fan, but it was hilarious. You know what he did?
No.
Blah, 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 blah. Blah 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 blah. It was because, and I think that was his way of going, go fuck yourselves, because they made Rush wait like a decade plus, dude. And whether you like them or not, they are a Hall of Fame band. I mean, you have to give them their due.
I've always sung their praises as a band. I
You
don't
just don't
like
like Getty's
prog,
voice. Fair
and
enough, dude.
yeah, I don't like prog, and I don't like Getty's voice, which is odd considering all the high pitched vocals that I like. But there's something about it that just grates on me. I don't know why.
Dude,
Said that
Bill,
there's
Bill,
still
Bill don't
songs by that band that I like.
Bill hates Tom Araya. Make that make sense.
Oh, that makes perfect sense.
No, it don't.
Objectively looking at it,
No,
that's
it doesn't.
horrible. He just yells.
No, whatever.
He can't sing.
Whatever.
I give Hetfield more credit. Every singer Exodus has had, every singer that fucking Overkill has had, they're at least singing.
See, I love them all. I love them all. And to me, I don't see how it's hard for me as a guy going, I don't think Tom's voice. I mean, it is what it is. But thrash metal's never been known for it's beautiful melodic voices.
I
So
do.
fuck off with that shit.
I
All
am
right,
not
all right.
disagreeing. I'm saying I understand how
Like
somebody
I'm
could
sorry,
not
Paul
like it.
Bailoff was not a fucking vocal virtuoso.
No,
Give me a fucking break,
no.
folks. Okay, and even Blitz, but believe it or not, I've met people that can't stand Megadeth because of Dave's voice, or even Overkill because of Bobby's voice. I can't stand, and I'm going, all right, man. Again, but everybody's different. You like what you like, and you like what you don't like, what you don't like, and he doesn't feel Tom's voice, man. Where I think Slayer's fucking awesome.
Same, same. But I get
But
it. It's like people not liking King Diamond's voice. I get it. It's
again, I do kind of get that because I got to be honest with you. First time I heard the King, man, I was like, "What is this, man?" Like it sounded like something coming from another dimension. Like,
yeah. I got it immediately. It made perfect sense.
but it didn't take long. I mean,
Yeah.
part of it with them was Merciful Fate and their musicianship. I was just like, "Whoa, what?" Again, man, I was like that with Metallica and Slayer. First time, what is this? This is like early 1984. I'm hearing Kill 'Em All, and Show No Mercy for the first time. And I mean, I thought the fastest it got at that point in time was shit like Motorhead, you dig? And I'm hearing this stuff and I'm going,
Yeah, Motorhead blew me out of the fucking water. Then you're hearing Metallica and Megadeth and Exodus and all these
exactly. And
bands,
I'm
and I was
going,
like, it gets
what
faster.
what is this new sound I have to take in? And I'm not sure if I like it. And I came around on Metallica quicker than Slayer. Slayer took me a while. It took me a while, but once I got it, I got it. And now I would say out of the big four now, they're the ones that I feel are uh the most they stuck more true to their roots than the other three bands. I mean, I got again. I'm gonna say it. I know this might piss some Megadeth fans off, but there's a reason why Slayer played before Metallica in the Big Four show because Slayer eclipsed them. Because Dave kept chasing trends and trying to be Metallica instead of just concentrating on being the badass motherfucker that he already was. He didn't
Yeah.
have to. I think if Dave would have kept doing if he kept doing albums like goddamn, and I'm not saying that you can't experiment or trying to new things, but there there's experimentation that works and then there's experimentation that don't work. And I just think that if he'd have just stayed more into the blueprint of uh Rust in Peace, Countdown, I think Megadeth would have. I mean, obviously they're part of the Big Four. They're fucking Megadeth. They've sold millions of records. They're not hurting. I don't mean to sound like but you know what I'm trying to say, Bushy. I think they're because it was awfully funny that the last band to go on before Metallica was Slayer, and I'm like, yeah, there's a reason for that
Yeah.
because Slayer didn't, they didn't stray. A lot of us thrash metal fans felt like we felt kind of betrayed by what Anthrax was doing. I mean, one, you get rid of Joey. I didn't like that move, even though I do like John Bush.
Yeah.
I liked Armored Saint, but I'm like, what the fuck is this? This ain't even Armor. This ain't even Anthrax anymore. It was a different band with John.
Yeah.
You know, not saying it was bad. And I know some people actually prefer that. Hey, that's cool, man. More power to you. But I'm just saying, they weren't even really thrash metal anymore. It was just like, I don't know.
Yeah. There
Anyway,
was a lot of those bands, those thrash bands that kind of steered away from it for a
big
while and
time,
then
big
came
time.
back, you know. Even Metallica came back to their
Yeah,
thrashier sound. Now,
yeah.
the last album, I think they were still doing the load sound a bit, but
And
whatever. I mean, they're
some songs I felt
delusional.
like they were doing. There was like two or three songs on there that I remember when Bill played it for me. I'm like, man, that almost kind of Sabbathy to me, man. It was thick and heavy and kind of sludgy.
Yeah.
Um, but I do think 72 Seasons is kind of all over the place.
Yeah, it's not nearly as cohesive as, say, the second
No,
Dying of the
no,
Dead.
I don't think it's horrible.
No,
I give it a,
I
I
like
give it a
less of
C.
it than I dislike,
I
is the
give it a
best way to
C.
say it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I give it a C. I think Hardwired was a much stronger record, and hell, that's
agreed.
a double album.
Yeah, agreed.
Because
That
even
was
some of
like
those,
that was one of those albums where you're like, wait a second, is Metallica back?
I still think it was because of Megadeth doing Dystopia that lit a fire. I don't care what anybody says. Dave gets back to now. Dave was kind of getting back to his thrash roots anyway with
Yeah,
albums before that.
yeah,
Like your United Abominations, 13. He was kind of getting because I remember when I heard some of that stuff, I'm like, oh, it's more like it, man. But then he puts out Collider or Super Collider or whatever the fuck it was, Super Collider, which it's like, oh shit, he's trying to go back to doing what he was doing before he got back into thrash again. He's doing, I mean, what the fuck, Dave? I don't want to hear this shit. I don't like fucking Risk. I don't like fucking any of that crap after fucking Countdown to Extinction. I'm just gonna fucking say it right now. I don't like it. Okay, it's
yeah.
not Megadeth to me. It's not. It's just like this is uh, and cryptic writings and just
Oh,
most
Cryptic
of it.
Writings is a great album.
No, most of it to me is garbage.
Yes, it is. It's a great
It,
album.
it's garbage and it's not good garbage. It's like really shitty, foul smelling. Oh my God, I think I'm going to choke to death on the stench. Okay. For me. Now, granted, and that's when we do our next Megadeth thing. It's going to be interesting because we're going to have to cover some of the albums. And who knows, maybe hearing it again, I've gotten older, my tastes have changed. I might be like, hey, like I'll tell you what, when we did what we did and I listened to Countdown from beginning to end,
Mhm.
because I've always liked that record, but I was always like, well, these four were great and Countdown. But then when I got done listening, I'm like, it's a pretty goddamn good record, man.
Yeah,
Yes, they're slow. That's why I thought with Megadeth, what they did with Countdown, they did what Metallica was doing with the Black Album, but I felt they did it better. They did it right. And I
right.
know that's blasphemy because Black Album sold about a gazillion copies, whatever. I'm just
Yeah,
saying to my ears as a fan, I felt like, okay, yeah, Dave slowed it down a little bit on a few songs, but they're still really good, heavy songs. Now, with that being said, there was one song they did do off the Black Album that I've always liked because it's one of the more thrashy songs is Through the Never.
yeah.
I like that song. I don't like. Hey, newsflash, folks. There are some songs on the Black Album I like. Ironically, a lot of them are the ones that weren't played to fucking death.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because like I like Sandman, but if I never have to hear it again, I'm not upset.
See, I hated that song from the first time I heard it.
No,
I
I've
didn't like
always
it.
always
But I
done that
know,
one.
hey, dude, when we saw Metallica on the 72 Seasons tour, man, we went to both shows. When they did Enter Sandman, the whole place went nuts. And me and Bill are just looking around and we're like, we got to be missing something because there's so many people that just universally love that fucking song.
Yeah,
And
it's a good jam, dude.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
The
I'm just
Sad But
like,
True is one I don't get. In fact, a buddy of mine down here,
oh,
he had screenshotted his every vehicle has a computer screen on them now.
yeah.
And he was listening to Sad But True, and all I did was message him back, worst Metallica song ever. And he's like, dude, it's my favorite. I'm like, my favorite's Fade to Black. My second favorite is the rest of Ride the Lightning, you know. And he says, look, can't argue with that. I'm like, fuck no, you can't. Sad But True's just one of those. What a cool riff. Once.
It's an amazing riff, but that's my problem. That's what I said when we reviewed the album
Yeah.
in uh Rock and Metal Combat podcast, which is the first time I was ever on that show. We did the Black Album, and I said, this is an incredible riff. I mean, it's bone crushing. It's everything you'd want a riff, man. But it's so monotonous. They don't
Yeah.
go anywhere with it. It's the same riff. Oh, that's where I have no problem with Metallica simplifying things, especially after an album like Justice for All. And Justice for All was almost progressive thrash. Let's be real. It
Yeah,
was.
that was very intricate, the guitar work on that record.
Yes. Yeah, and it's all over the place. And
Yeah.
so I can understand them scaling it back. I get it. But they went way too far with it. That's my exhibit A right there of my problem with the Black Album. They simplified it too much. They simplified it too much. Where I'm going, fuck, this is boring. The fuck. Okay, this is a great riff. Like when I first heard, I'm like, fuck yeah, that's a fucking heavy riff. I'm digging that riff. But it was the same riff over and over through the entire song. Now, maybe if the song was a little bit shorter, I'd have been all right with it.
Yeah.
But I'm like, oh, between, man, I would say fucking within 50 seconds to a minute in that. So I'm like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
Now were other songs on that album, like, Through the Never. I like that song. I also like, oh, what's the song with, the bass line that starts. I really like that. And that's not a thrash song, but I like that song.
Yeah.
There's some good stuff on, Of Wolf and Man's a good song.
Great tune. That's one of my favorites on the record. And oddly enough, Unforgiven. I know like the
Uh,
diehards hate that song.
yeah, they played that shit last night. I walked out.
And I'm just
And
like,
when they did Nothing Else Matters, I walked out too. If I never heard that fucking piece
I
of
like them
shit
both.
again,
I
I
like
hate
them
that
both.
fucking song.
I like them both.
To me, I think, you know what I said on the Rock and Metal Combat podcast about that song. I said, nothing else matters. I said, yeah, including their integrity these days. Yeah, I said it. Fucking terrible.
Yeah. Well, you remember Lars sellout. Yeah, we sell out arenas every night.
I don't give a fuck. Oh, and if we'd have done a Justice for All too, that would have done the sellout. Well, here, Lars, here's the fucking thing. Newsflash: I wasn't expecting an Injustice for All too, because every one of your albums, while amazing, were different. Are you going to sit there and tell me that Ride the Lightning sounds like Kill 'Em All or that Master sounds like Ride? I don't think so.
No,
And
no,
I
no.
think Justice is different so I don't want to hear that shit. I get so tired of that. I also get tired of the standard fucking Metallica tard that comes at me whenever I say anything critical about them. What's your energy? Play me for the rest of your life. Yeah, because every fucking song before the Black Album was a million miles an hour.
Yeah.
Get the
Fade to
fuck
Black.
out of
Hello.
here.
Probably
Uh,
one of the slowest songs they had done up to that point, and it's my favorite Metallica song.
My Friend of Misery, I think, is the one that has the really, really cool bass line. I really like that song. I like The God That Failed,
Yeah,
another cool
it's another
song,
good
man.
one. Yeah.
So there's Holier Than Thou ain't bad. I mean, ironically, the songs I do like are the ones that, and maybe that was part of the problem is, dude, they just played the fuck out of the Sad but true, and Enter Sandman and The Unforgiven, to where even if I could have like kind of come around on it, they burnt me out on it. Like,
Yeah.
so Don't Tread on Me is not a bad song.
I
So
had a buddy that quit with Metallica because they released the video for One. He was so angry with that band for daring to
to
release
do a
a
video, yeah,
video
I
on
know.
MTV. And I was like, but look, I just discovered this band because of said video and discovered this album and then went backwards and discovered all
See,
great
I
art.
was just
What are
the
you
opposite.
talking
I
about?
remember when they were doing a video and it was going to be for One. I was excited because Metallica didn't ever do videos.
No,
They
they were
for a long
strictly a
time they
word
were
of
like,
mouth
no,
band.
yeah, we're not going to do videos. The closest they got to it, MTV recorded them at the Day of the Green Festival.
Yeah.
Which and then but then Metallica wouldn't let them release it. So when you finally did get to see it, you saw it on that video compilation, Cliff 'Em All, which was a total tribute to Cliff.
Yeah.
Um, and it is amazing. But yeah, they were not, like, and that's one thing that set them apart. Like Dave Mustaine started making videos right away.
Right,
He
right out of
didn't,
the gate. Yeah.
yeah, right out of the gate. So I never understood. Like, I'm like, but that video is awesome.
Yeah.
Uh, Now, with that being said, do I think they went a little video crazy after that, especially with the Black Album? Yes, yeah, and in fact, was the MTV and radio just fucking played the absolute dog piss out of those tracks to the point, Bushy, where I'm just like, well, even if I could have wrapped my head around, like, okay, well, maybe I need to just, okay, this isn't thrash, it's a traditional metal. I love traditional metal. I might have been willing to embrace some of that stuff more, but then it was hard because, like, I felt like Inner Sandman was way too simple. I thought the lyrics were fucking juvenile and retarded. I don't like them. Often Never Neverland. What am I going to go see Peter Pan now flying in his tights? Fuck you. This is fucking gay. All right. That's how I felt at the time. I'm just talking about how 1991 Mike felt at the time. Metal Mike, even though he wasn't really Metal Mike, he was just Mike Tyler, didn't dig it, man. And sad but true. I'm like, wow, what a bone crushing riff. Okay. And then it just kept going on and on and on, the same riff over and over. I'm just like, and Unforgiven. And then they do two more of them. Like, no, no,
Yeah.
no.
Unforgiven 2 is, as a fan of Unforgiven, Unforgiven 2 is okay at best. At Unforgiven 3, I completely checked out. It's like, yeah,
Right. I'm
um,
just like, guys, stop, man. Stop. Just stop already.
it's like if I want to hear a
And and
trilogy,
and
or
and
if I
and,
want a
and I'm
trilogy, I'll go
sorry
watch The
for
Good, the
some of
Bad,
you
and the Ugly.
hardcore Metallica fans. Mama said we're not even going to go down that. All right. So anyway, my first pick is a band that's been around for a while, black metal band. And I'm a guy that's not, at one point in time, I didn't like black metal at all. But as I've gotten older and just, I don't know, maybe just more acclimated to it, and because I have so many friends that do love this stuff, I've gotten to where I appreciate it a lot more. And this is a band that, to me, I mean, they are considered black metal, but when I hear them vocally, sometimes even, especially in their later day stuff, I almost hear a power metal element. It's almost like blackened power metal. Cradle of Filth. They just released a new album,
Dude,
The
that's on
Screaming of
my
the
list.
Valkyries, and it's really good. I really, really like
So
it.
good.
I played a couple tracks already on the Metal Mike show, and it's really, really cool. I suggest you guys go out and check that out, man. Especially if you're into black metal or power metal, even. I think Kane, who doesn't like power metal at all, would probably like this because it's like, whoa, this is like the vocals are very
No, Kane loves power metal. He doesn't like black metal.
right, but I think that's why he would like it is because of the power metal part
Oh,
of it.
okay.
Because he's real, like, he likes a couple of black metal bands, but he's not real big on. He does like what we call blackened thrash, which is bands like there was one in our area, literally in our backyard, called um uh, Blackfast, and they're like blackened thrash. They're no longer together, but they were amazing. We have the band, or now they're just calling themselves Repent. They're blackened thrash. Skeleton Witch is another band that's very kind of, it's thrash metal, but the vocals are totally black metal, and I like that stuff too. So it's like if you mix it with something, I'm like, oh, I really like that. But as I said, I've gotten to where I do appreciate. I mean, I saw a bath a while back with with uh oh fuck, Goat Whore. and I really liked them, man. They were really cool, man. I was just like, oh, this, and the guy was hilarious on stage, man. With his corpse paint and stuff, and uh, uh,
That's a band I've never listened to. Abath
yeah, well, the guy
however you
Abath
say
was
it.
in another band too before that, which is another, big time uh, black metal band. So that's where he kind of got his cut his teeth or made his bones in mob terms. Is uh, uh, you know yeah, because his name is Abath Doom Occulta. And the band that he was
That's
with,
not his name.
well, his fucking stage name, bro. Immortal. That was the band he was in, which I'm sure you've heard of them. Immortal are one of the big, they are considered one of the bigger, um, black metal bands that were founded around that time, the early 90s.
Yeah,
Um, so yeah, I gotta admit, man, it was pretty cool. It was a cool show. I was just like, all right, man, cool. So as I've gotten a bit older, I've gotten to appreciate black metal, and you know how I am about that. And I can usually find at least a few bands within just about any subgenre of metal where I'm like, okay, I don't know if I'm a big fan of that particular stuff, but I like that band or I like
yeah,
those bands. So yeah, that's my first one.
nice. Well, you got to look at me. I mean, I've gotten into so much heavy shit. I mean,
Hmm.
thank God for liquid metal. One of the bands I had mentioned it the last time we tried to record this called Kubla Khan TX. That's Kubla. That's how you say it, but it's Kublai. Next word Khan. K.
Blai.
Yeah.
And then Khan spelled
Yeah.
the same way.
KHAN.
Yeah, like the real Kubla Khan.
Yeah.
Texas TX.
PX. Yeah. The song
Okay.
I recommend everyone checks out is fucking called Darwinism. Dude, it's just got, I mean, it's crushing, just wicked fast opener. You're just getting piss pounded in the dick with guitars and bass and drums. And then the singer just screams, motherfucker, get on the fucking feet. And then it slows into like a Pantera type sludgy heavy riff. Dude, I missed a turn listening to this shit. I was going to the dump to haul my garbage off because in this area, all your taxes you
Where
pay for the
where can you
town.
find their music, Bush?
You
Like,
can
do
find
they
it
have a band
everywhere.
camp?
I don't know about Bandcamp yet. You can definitely find them on YouTube though.
Okay.
Definitely. Bandcamp,
Because one of the
I'm not
things I
sure.
like to do is, and I'm sure you did when you had your radio show, and hopefully one day you will have one again here in the and
Yeah, God
little
willing.
bit down down the road. Uh, I love to play that stuff too. It's not just about for my own self. It's like when I discover something new, I'm always like, oh, cool, man.
Yeah, the Kubla Khan that's on Bandcamp is not this band.
Okay.
So definitely YouTube.
But you said they're spelled differently though too. So
Yeah.
hopefully,
Well, I spelled it the same way with the AI, and you have to put the TX in there. The Kublai Khan, if I'm going to
yeah.
say it the way it's spelled, that you'll find on Bandcamp looks like it's Asian. So I'm not sure what that's all about. If you want to check that out, go ahead on Bandcamp. But Kubla Khan Texas, I highly recommend. And if they're actually out of Texas, because I haven't done a whole lot of research on them, that Pantera sound makes perfect fucking sense. If they're actually out of Texas. And I'm assuming they are because them slapping the TX on the end of it.
Right.
But they're a great band, man. And check out that song Darwinism, because I'm telling you, I missed a turn. I was driving my garbage. Like I was saying, all the taxes that you pay in this area and in the whole county,
Yeah.
there's different dumps, and
Right.
they have the big dumpsters and stuff, and they have the big machines that push all the garbage into them. Once that part's filled up, they slam it into the thing, and it's all free to all the residents. So I'm driving there, and man, that breakdown hit. And I turned on my blinker and I'm slowing down because I have to make a left. And I'm like, oh shit, I don't have to make a left. I turn my blinker off, speed back up. But there's a guy that was right here as I'm slowing down. So the dude's waiting for me as I turn my blinker off and then keep going. Wouldn't you know it? The son of a bitch pulls in behind me at the dump. And I was like, was that you there on Halltown? And he said, yeah, yeah. I said, man, I am sorry. I swear to God, I'm not retarded. But that breakdown just hit and this shit's blasting in my car. He's like,
But
no.
what would you classify them as? You said they have a really heavy breakdown. They are they kind of
I
like
would I
groove
would
metal
say
or
they're very Pantera-ish.
makes sense,
Yeah.
especially if they're from Texas. All right, man. Well, I'm
Yeah.
gonna check them out because
Yeah.
I love
Like
me
I
some
said, that
groove
track
metal.
Darwinism, you'll see what I mean, dude.
Even that's a great name for a
Yeah.
fucking track,
Yeah.
Darwinism. Ooh, I could just hear it, man.
Yeah. Dude, that shit's
Lacan,
fucking
Texas.
brutal. Great stuff.
All right, man. Cool. My next pick is a band that I actually got to see open for Cavalier Conspiracy. That you know how Max has been here lately recording a lot of the classic Sepultura albums, even the old ones that had horrible. And I'm not a production guy either, but man, those first couple of Sepultura albums are kind of a hard listen. It's not that the songs are bad, but it's such really, really bad production. I'm not talking like hotter than I'm talking like this production makes the production of Hotter Than Hell sound like a masterpiece, like Bruce Fairbairn did or something. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
really bad. Um, but the songs are great, you know. And I mean, like I think the first Sepultura album, they were such young kids, they didn't even realize they're playing their instruments out of tune. You
Nice.
dig?
Yeah.
Right. Well, now Max has went back and he's kind of started recording some of those old albums. Um, um, you know, with his band now and pretty badass. But beyond that, he's also been performing a lot of the old Sepultura albums in their entirety. And and when I seen him, he did the Beneath the Arise tour, as they called it, which he played Beneath the Remains. They did Beneath the Remains, him and Igor, and Arise, all in their entirety, which were probably two of my favorite Sepultura albums. So
Nice.
I'm like, heaven, I'm in heaven, you know. But the band that opened
Those
for
two and Chaos AD for me.
oh, I love Chaos AD as
Yeah.
well. I even love Roots. I know that's kind of a controversial album among some metal guys, you know, oh, they went new metal or they, you know, the thing is that if you listen to Sepultura, they've always evolved. If you listen to Max, even now, he continues to evolve and he's
Yeah.
always incorporating things that well, tickle his ass with a feather, so to speak. You know, things that he's like, oh, I like that. So he fucking
Brazilian metal seems to be so fucking different anyway.
yes,
You know,
it is.
it's like Norwegian metal. I mean, you started getting all these black metal bands out of Norway, Denmark area, Sweden, and that was so different from the heavy shit we had here. You listen, like when I first heard Sepultura, I heard it was Headbangers Ball, and they were playing Territory a lot.
Mhm.
I hadn't heard any music like that
Yeah.
up to that point. And at that point, I was a religious watcher of the Headbangers Ball, so I was getting a little bit of everything thrown at me.
Mhm.
And Sep, I was just like, "Whoa,
Right.
why is this dude so mad?"
Right. Well, I remember the first time I heard Sepultura, my buddy, he was younger than me. He had brought over the cassette Beneath the Remains. And he's like, dude, and he didn't even know how to say the name right. He's like, they're called Sepultura.
Nice.
I said, Sepultura. I said, bro, bring that cassette, let me look at it. And I'm like, and I could reckon because I read a lot, because Sepultura is literally the Portuguese translation for sepulcher. Sepulcher is a tomb.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was like, I think that's Sepultura, bro. I think that's how you say it. And he's like, I don't care how you say it. This shit fucking rules. I said, yes, it does.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I remember just listening to the album and just being blown away. And even then being like when the song had Mass Hypnosis and Max couldn't speak proper English, so it's Mass Hypnosis. And he'll actually still to this day have the crowd say it. And we say it like that, Mass Hypnosis, because I don't give a fuck, Max rules, you know, but it's just I loved them from the day I heard them, you know, and you know, Arise, and then after that, Chaos AD, and now I have to be honest with you, I was one of those ones that jumped ship when Max did leave because to me it was like Sepultura without Max Cavalera, that's blasphemous, you know.
Yeah, I haven't listened to that band
Now I
since.
will say this though, I have heard some of their later releases. Pretty fucking good, Bushy. I mean, my biggest, and so then I went back and listened to some. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. It's actually pretty good. My biggest gripe about it though is I just wish, because they had thought about changing the name of the band, and I know that, yeah, Saboteurs. I get that. I know it's the music business. I do understand. But I also thought, like, at first, I thought the name of the band was going to be Against, because that was their first album without Max. Because at
Yeah.
that time, Igor was still in the
Still
band,
in the band. Yeah.
and it was all in white lettering, but they had the Sepultura S and res in red. And I'm like, ooh, is that the name of the band? Is that them letting us know who they are? I thought it was really cool, very cool marketing.
Yeah.
Even if it was just an advertisement for the album, which ended up being, I was like, oh, that's pretty neat, man. It lets you know who they are, you know. But I think they should have called themselves. They could have called themselves Arise and used the Sepultura S. There are a lot of ways they could have done it to where you'd know who the fuck they were, you know. And I think the fans, I just think, because there were some people that followed him regardless and still followed Max. They loved both. I was one of those guys that's like, I just, as I said, since then, because of online radio, because of people playing me, some of their later albums, especially. I was listening to Liquid Metal when I had Sirius, and I was like, wow, I really like that. That's really good. So it's kind of made me appreciate post Max Sepultura more. But yeah, dude, I'm definitely I'm in that camp where I'm like, if it doesn't have, yeah. But I love the fact that Max is doing all these old albums and touring for all these old records, and I'm really I would, but anyway, to get to my point, the band that opened for them, which was a band I was familiar with, I'd already knew who they were. I had gotten some of their, I think I discovered them because sometimes y'all just search for shit. Like I'll either go to YouTube and put new wave of thrash metal or new thrash metal bands, and then Bandcamp. I might have discovered these guys. I can't remember exactly how I discovered them, but holy shit, Warbringer, fucking
Yeah.
great band.
I've
And
heard
they
their
just
stuff.
came out with a new album just a week or two ago called Wrath and Ruin. Dude, it's face melting thrash at its finest. Check it the fuck out, man. Highly, you got the Metal Mike fucking devil horns. Too much metal for one hand recommendation. All right.
Nice. Nice. It's funny. Hold on just a second.
Well, I can keep talking so people
There,
don't.
there's a band I have found again through the almighty Liquid Metal. I
Okay.
really love this station anymore, dude. Their band called Unto Others. Uh,
Unto others. Is
Unto
it like
Others.
all into one? Is it all like
Two words, unto
word?
and others.
Okay. All right, man. Cool.
But I'm trying to remember the title of the track that I heard, and I'm not grabbing it. But it's funny because they had one of the band members. I can't remember even which band member it was. They were interviewing him, and he's talking about how they were listening to the Ramones a lot. They really dug the Ramones, and they've got a Ramones vibe, even though they are much, much heavier.
Oh,
You
okay.
can feel the Ramones in this shit. But he was like, yeah, we were listening to Pet Cemetery a lot, which look, I'm going to piss off a lot of Ramones fans. I'm not a big Ramones fan. I'm a hits guy when it comes to them. I love Pet Cemetery. I thought it was a brilliant fucking song. Yes, I know it's a little more poppy than even the Ramones normally did. I know it was, oh, it's radio friendly and you're for the soundtrack, blah blah blah. Look, it's a great fucking song. But they had done a song that sounded an awful lot like Pet Cemetery. And it was funny because Nevea and we must have been coming back from work or going to work. No, we were coming back. I never listened to music in the morning. And, we're jamming. I'm like, damn, this sounds like the Ramones Pet Cemetery. And then you hear the interview and he's talking about, yeah, we were listening to this a lot. And so it made perfect sense. Now, the vocalist sounds a little like that dude from Volbeat or Life of
Oh,
Agony,
okay. Oh,
but not
okay.
but not quite as much. But it's solid, man. They're a solid group. You can actually find them on YouTube covering Pet Cemetery, and it is
Well, I wrote them
absolutely
down, dude. I will
yeah.
definitely check them out,
Yeah,
brother.
they're good stuff. I've been scrolling through trying to find this other band. and I just can't find them. That's going to irritate me. I'll find this shit after we go off. But
Well,
yeah,
maybe like when we post, like when you finally release the episode and you post it, maybe we can have some like links to some of these guys' the newer bands, band camps, or a YouTube video
yeah,
or whatever,
yeah.
website, whatever, hey, check these guys out,
Oh yeah.
Uh, yeah, my third one is like I said, no particular order. I'm not ranking them. They're just, this is a band that's been around for a number of years. They came out kind of in the early aughts. I've always liked them though. Um, uh, in fact, I've always said that this is because they get compared to another band a lot. Because that has a female vocalist, and I know that they're not metal, whatever. I consider them rock. This band that I'm not recommending is this other band, but there is one difference though. This band has two singers, one's a female and one's a male. The other one's just full blown female singer. Um, and I've always said that one band is a pop rock band trying to be metal, and the other band is a metal band trying to be pop rock. And the band that I'm saying that's pop rock is Evanescence. Where I feel this band, Lacuna Coil, gothic metal band from Italy.
Yeah, yeah.
But they're pretty heavy, man, especially this new album. It's pretty heavy.
Didn't even know they had new stuff out.
Just came
Nice.
out called Sleepless Empire. Really, really cool. I got to see Evanescence a while back live, put on a hell of a show. And like I said, they've gotten, especially Andre, his his vocals, he can still belt it out, but it's gotten a lot more aggressive, which I think has also given Lacuna Coil a heavier sound, you
Right.
know. But I like Lacuna Coil. I know there's some, whatever, you either like it or you don't. I do. I dig them. I think they're cool. She's fucking hot. And I think she's like engaged to one of the dudes from Slipknot, I believe. I believe so.
What is
Um,
it with these women in metal that are just smoking, dude? Just like the chick from Arch Enemy,
oh, well,
Melissa or
Alyssa
Alyssa
White
Rouge.
Gloves, and then even
Yeah,
the chick before her, who's now their manager, Angela Glad, she was a smoke show.
yeah.
Oh yeah, dude.
Both chicks from Nightwish, because I know they got a new singer now. She can still do everything. Because my standard for Nightwish is, yeah, but do Phantom of the Opera, and I'll find out if I like you or not. And she totally destroys it. But it's like all these women that sing metal are just babes. There ain't no 400-pound bitches wearing too little clothing in the metal world. Let me tell you what, you only get that shit in fucking pop.
Yep, that's true. In fact, there's a band. I was gonna see them last week. I think I told you this the other day.
No offense to larger ladies. I'm sorry.
But I'll
That was
get back.
rude and insensitive. You can email me at DJ Metal Mike at gmail.
Fuck, dude. Dick. Anyway, there is another band. Well, there's a few bands that have female singers on my list, and one of them I really, really like, which I was gonna go see. They were in town. Ralph's gotten into them, but I'll talk about them later because I don't want to, we've
Sure.
been we're in a groove. So,
Yeah, yeah.
Lacuna Coil, Sleepless Empire. Your turn, brother.
Nice. This old band, I'm not even sure if they're around anymore. I absolutely despised it when I heard it as a kid. I thought it was fucking nonsense. I'm like, where the fuck are the instruments? This stuff is bullshit. I was in Walmart a week ago and one of their albums, they had one of the CDs there, which floored me anyway, because, Walmart's CD and record collection is garbage at best. This was in the $5 bin. So I was like, fuck it. What do I lose but $5? And I've gained a whole new respect for this band. It's funny because I think I heard the album after this with their big radio hit, and that's what I couldn't stand. But I picked up this bitch, Nine Inch Nails, Pretty Hate Machine,
That's one of their best records, I
and I
think.
was like, what the fuck was I thinking? Because I
That's the
remember,
one's got Head Like a Hole on it, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what it opens with. Dude, this thing fucking rips. I don't know why I wasn't on the boat back in the 90s, but I was not.
Do you like Ministry?
I haven't gotten into them. I'm trying. That's
Okay,
one of
because
those
if you like
bands.
that, you might like Ministry
Yeah,
too.
that's one of those I'm going to have to go and kind of rediscover because I know back in the day, I was like, nah, that's noise. I don't like all that electronica shit going on.
Well, because I think that Marilyn Manson, now his look was totally theatrical metal, obviously,
Yeah,
but musically, especially an album like Antichrist, that's industrial metal. I
yeah.
mean, I could hear the NIN and Ministry influences all over it, and Trent Reznor produced that album, so
Oh,
maybe
Antichrist, nice.
yes, yeah,
I liked
yeah,
that. I liked the one before, Smells Like Children. I liked
yep,
Portrait of an American Family. I thought
love
those
those
were good
records.
albums.
Yeah, I
You
love
know,
those. Still do to
it's
this
funny
day.
because I liked Manson. He's another one right from the beginning. It's like, ooh, I get it. I see what he's
Mm,
doing here. I like this. Nine Inch Nails. I didn't get my first exposure to them was Closer,
mm.
and I was just like, come on. Now, as I've grown older, I really like that track.
Chicks like the fuck to that song.
Nice, nice. Mine would not.
Yeah.
Um, I need some hillbilly twanging on a fiddle or something. But but yeah, man. If you were like me back when these guys were big, and you were like, what the fuck is this? Go back and try them again because I did, and I've been blown away. I'm going to have to rebuy the Downward Spiral because I bought that album based on Closer because I was like, let me see what the rest of it's like. Hated it, threw it away. Didn't even give it away, threw it away, and never got to the next one. I think it was the next one that had like the perfect drug on it. I I, I just didn't dig it.
You didn't get
Completely.
it at the
Yeah,
time, yeah.
I have
Again, that
completely changed
again,
my stance
Bushy,
on it.
that happens,
Yeah,
man. Like, there's been times where I'm like, I didn't get this or I didn't get that, and then later I'm like, oh, I get it now. It just clicks, and I think part of it, you get older, your tastes just change. I think maybe you listening to liquid metal has kind of opened your horizons up quite a bit to where you're like, oh, okay, well, this don't sound so, who knows? You might actually like Alice in Chains now if you give them another chance.
yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah. I'm digging Alice in Chains.
I knew it. I
Uh,
fucking knew it.
I'm like, okay, if they weren't called grunge, I probably would have dug it a little more, but they were lumped in with Nirvana and Pearl Jam and all these guys. And look, I'm
But you know
sorry.
what?
I'm still waiting for Vedder to kick the bucket so that fucking genre is finally completely dead.
It'll never totally die, Bushy. It doesn't
Ugh,
matter. Music is forever, number one. And secondly, I'm
yeah,
sorry, but I understand what you're saying because if you think, how do you think they felt? You had bands that were just being put in a category just because they were from Seattle. I mean, let's be real. Not all those bands sounded the same. They didn't, man. I think Soundgarden and Alice in Chains are way different from Pearl Jam and Nirvana
they
to
are.
my ears.
They absolutely are.
But yet they were like, oh, well, let's just throw
Yeah.
grunge. We're just going to label it grunge. And they didn't want to, you
But
know,
Soundgarden's another one of those bands that I've gone back
to
and I'm
me,
like,
man,
what the fuck? What
Soundgarden,
was I thinking? They're great.
yeah, they were.
I've
Yeah.
tried Nirvana and I'm like, nope, they still fucking suck. That best song they ever did was Bang Splat.
Yeah. Oh, damn, dude. So terrible. Um, I, uh, yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, if I was to rank the grunge metal, the big four of grunge is what they call it, I would say for me, and that's what's funny, as popularity goes, it would probably be the opposite. But for me, the way I would rank them would be Alice in Chains one, Soundgarden number two. And I know Bill's just opposite. He would put Soundgarden one and Alice in Chains two. Then Nirvana. No, wait, no. Then Pearl Jam. Then Nirvana.
I'd put Stone
I
Temple well above fucking
But
both.
Stone Temple didn't come. I mean, they're not from Seattle. I don't
No, but
consider
they
them
were lumped into
grunge.
that same, it was all that same style of music.
They're fucking alternative metal if
And
they're
I
any.
couldn't stand it back then. And I used to cover a Superman song by
Yeah.
them and it was with my band Bipolar. And I had to go to my singer. I'm like, Rich, I don't like this shit. I don't own any of this garbage. If I'm going to cover it, I need it. So he
Mhm.
gave it to me, and it ended up being one of my favorite songs to play, Stone Temple's
Yeah.
Superman song. But
Yeah.
yeah, as I've grown, I've tried to go back into stuff I couldn't stand. I've tried,
But yeah,
and
because
some of it I
STP came
just
from
can't.
San Diego, so they again, there was a bunch of bands that got lumped into that stuff, but you know, I mean, like Buzz Osborne doesn't from the Melvins does not like being called grunge. He's like, we're sludge metal. That's what
Right.
we are. It's what we've always been. Just because we're from Seattle. Yes, a lot of those bands that became grunge, we influenced or they because Buzz actually taught some of them how to down tune and to play, that because Buzz was a huge Sabbath freak, so and a Kiss fan, you know, so but yeah, it's just something that's kind of interesting though. So all right, man, moving on. You did, yeah, you said NIN. My next pick is another female fronted band. They're from Sweden. Now they're not metal, even though they're on a metal label. They're on Nuclear Blast Records, but they're called Blues Pills, and they got a female singer, very cute little gal. They're Swedish. They're considered rock, hard rock, blues rock, psychedelic rock. I think you'd like them, Bush. They've been around for a number of years. They've got one, two. They got really five albums, one live album where they performed the entire album Lady in Gold, which is their 2016 album live. They're really really cool. Their latest album just came out 2024 called Birthday. I think you would dig them. They're really really cool, man. I like them. They just got that whole 60s 70s fucking let's get baked vibe. Um, but I mean, they do have some rockers and some fast pace songs too. I definitely recommend that album, but I recommend their entire discography, man. Check them out.
Absolutely. Uh, my next one is an all-female band,
Oh,
and they were around. They broke up, went their separate ways, as such. They've just come back. They've dropped an album, and dude, I've been hearing a lot of their stuff on fucking. Again, I can't sing enough praises to Liquid Metal. Thank the stars for Liquid fucking Metal. Yeah, and Jose Mangan, dude, you've got me into a lot of shit. Kitty, dude, brutal,
oh yeah, Kitty's been around for a
brutal
long
stuff,
time, man. But like you said, they took some time off and now they're back. I haven't really. I think I've got the new album, but I don't think I've really taken the time to listen to it.
dude. That you got to spin that one. It is solid. I've heard one or two tracks off of it. Um, so like obviously I can't speak to the album being solid, but I know that these two songs they've released on Liquid Metal, dude, these chicks, they're angry. They got some daddy issues, mommy issues. They got all kinds of issues wrapped into this. This is just angry music. Great stuff. Again, Kitty, I liked the song Brackish, but I didn't stick with Kitty at that point. It was a little heavier than I was
The album
at
called
the time.
Fire.
Yeah, I think it's the latest one. Just
Yeah,
yeah, great stuff. Great
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. They've been around for a minute, dude. And like you
Yeah,
said,
because they were around in the late '90s.
Yeah, I saw him. I saw him at Ozfest years ago, man.
Nice. Yeah, they blew me away. Great stuff.
All right, cool. Moving on. Here's another band, and it features the singer from somebody we're going to interview. And the band is called Entheos. The album is their latest one, An End to Everything. I really dig this band. I saw them. I first discovered them. I went to go see Earth Crisis, and there's also had that progressive death metal band Revocation, which a friend of ours used to be part of TMS and Cranium Radio. Walter Greggs got me turned on. When he first played, I didn't quite know what to make of it. I'm like, whoa, dude, this is like overload, like overload. But when I seen him live, and man, that guy's the singer, guitar player, the main song, he is an incredible guitarist, dude. Like just I mean, holy fucking shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it just mind blowing good. But the band I'm talking about is called Entheos, and they've been around, and they're actually like I believe on their albums, like when they go to play, they have hired guns, but they are an American progressive metal band. They were formed in California by ex-members of Animosity Animals as leaders and the Faceless. Uh, um, they're also kind of technical death metal, progressive metal, deathcore, gent, which is what Meshuggah is. I was blown away by them, man. They had their EP Primal in 2015, their debut album The Infinite Nothing in 2016, and then their other latest album is uh, uh, Time Will Take Us All, which again, really, really cool. And then I've got their EP, which came out in October 2024. That's their latest release. Um, that's the one I'm really plugging. But dude, just check out all their stuff. They're really cool and into everything. I think you'd like them. The lead singer is Shani Crab. We're going to be interviewing her for Rockin' Pod, so I'm really looking forward to that. And from what I understand, I think when they you got the drummer Naveen Copperweiss and then the vocalist Chase Cheney Crab. Yeah, I don't know, man. I just think they're a really really cool uh, band. But usually,
I'm gonna have to listen to them because I know nothing about them. I put her on the list because I know you were really excited for her and we got
well,
her.
what's really cool is she'll do like melodic vocals, but she can do the aggressive ones, and it's pretty heavy shit, Bushy. I'm not gonna lie. And some of it's a bit abstract, but
Yeah,
I dig
I
them, man.
don't care anymore. There was a time where I'd have been like, but now
Yeah.
I rarely come off of liquid metal except in the mornings because I don't like a lot of noise in the mornings. So no, definitely have to check that. Entheos, you said. Definitely have to check that out. I've only got two more things here. One's an album, one's a movie. Um, I'll go ahead and do the album. I don't know if this was ever released earlier. I have no idea. I bought it thinking that it would possibly be a um, a live album. That's not the case. It's not a live album. It's just a hits compilation, I guess, is the best way to put it. But it's fucking Mothership Zeppelin.
Oh, cool. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Good
got it.
shit, man.
Yeah, it's got everything that's worth a damn on it. Produced by Jimmy Page. So how bad could it be, right? Great
Hmm.
fucking album if you like that old school '70s rock, and you don't want to buy 8 albums. Get Mothership.
Right.
It's got all
Or
the
if
good
you
shit
just
on it.
are just in a compilation mood where you just
Yeah,
want to hear the big songs,
hell yeah,
throw it on, man.
yeah, it's good
Hell
stuff.
yeah, dude.
I was hoping it was a live album. It's not, but
Now this is a band, all female band, and I saw them live a while back. I saw them open up for Hatebreed and Carcass. Um, they're
love
called
hate breed. Don't know
Crypto.
anything about Carcass.
Carcass is a melodic death metal band, been around for a long time. The vocals are very aggressive, but let's just say this: Bildo loves them. And part of it's just due to the guitar work. I mean, just the guitar playing, the instrumentation. They're just
That's what got me into
fucking badass.
Marth. So
Yeah, I think you dig them. They're
yeah.
from Liverpool, believe it or not.
Oh
Uh,
wow.
been around for since the 90s. In fact, I just made them this past week. I just made them an album of the day. Their 1994 release, I believe, is 94 Heartwork.
Okay.
Yeah, so they've been around for a number of years. I love me some Carcass, but the band that opened up for them was a Brazilian female band called Crypta, and the bass player and the lead singer, man, did she had a badunkadunk.
Well,
Sorry,
they're
speak for
Brazilian.
others, but yeah, oh my god, yeah, them Brazilian girls got some butts on them, man.
Why do you think I watched the Summer Olympics for volleyball? I'm
And
looking for the Brazilian team.
yeah, right. And man, this is a band, and believe it or not, they spun out of because the gal, the bass player and the singer, used to be in Nervosa, another Sao Paulo, Brazil band. And when I told her I was a fan of her other band, she just clutched her heart. She's like, "Oh, thank you." It's like I knew of her and her career, and I had no idea Crypto was even going to be there in that night. So I was like, fuck, man. So I got the CD. I think I got it here somewhere, and I got it signed by the band. Um, yeah, right here, man. Here's the CD, and I got it signed uh by the bass player. Uh,
Nice.
but yeah, they were badass, dude. They were badass, man, and really sweet gal. I'm gonna try to find the time to do an interview with her someday. I really need to get on that, man. But I was waiting for her tour to be over so I could
Yeah.
like actually, so she'd actually have a minute to maybe, team view with me or whatever and do it. But yeah, the album I'm plugging though is this one right here, Shades of Sorrow, came out in 2023, but they have a few other albums besides that. Really, really cool. And if you like that, now Nervosa's went on, they've just got different lineups because the girl of Nervosa, the guitarist, she's like the main songwriter of that band, and she's just kind of went on with Nervosa still continuing, but
Nice.
uh, holy shit, man, Crypta, yeah, Fernanda Lira is her name, and she is fucking awesome, man.
Sweet. Crypto.
Yeah,
Check that out too. Hell yeah.
yeah.
Since we're given so many
There's also an
women,
album before that called Echoes of the Soul, released in 2021.
nice. Since we're giving so much love to women in metal, let's shout out Becky Lynch of Fury, who
Okay.
who is now the bass player, permanent bass player for the almighty Your T-shirt, Merciful Fate. I saw her playing with
Yes.
Fate when I went down there to Atlanta.
She is phenomenal, dude.
Great bass player, great stage presence. This chick rocks out. So it's old news by now, obviously, but yeah, congrats to
Oh
Becky.
yeah, yeah. Congrats to her, man. And rest in peace to Timmy Hansen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um,
But my last thing, I didn't realize, I don't know if this is newly released to Blu-ray. I have this film on DVD, and it's got the updated cover with a very old Gene Simmons on the cover. But the greatest horror movie of all time, Trick or Treat, is on Blu-ray now. It's got a shitload of cool special features on there. The whole making of the
oh,
film
you got it? Let me see it, man. Oh, cool.
with the original fucking cover. And dude, this shit. First of all, it's got a sick ass black case, not the blue case like they normally have. It's got a sweet little booklet in here from Synapse Films. Gives you their
Did they
whole
actually clean the fucking movie up? Because my
dude.
DVD is a transfer of the VHS. It's a
Yes,
shitty copy.
it looks amazing. They have a tribute to I can't remember his name, the cat that played Sammy Kerr in this.
Yeah.
Uh,
What was
the
his name?
the kid that played
Tony
Eddie.
Fields.
Yeah, the kid that played Eddie is heavily interviewed in the special features. If you love the movie, get the Blu-ray anyway. But
Oh,
the special
sure.
features alone made it worth the
I
buy.
mean, it's I
It's
I showed the
amazing.
movie to Bill a while back, and he laughed his ass off. He's like, "Dude, that movie's fucking retarded." I'm like, "Yes, you're right. It absolutely is." But I go, "But it's a time capsule." I mean,
Yes.
I remember when that movie came out. I remember being excited because it's got Gene Simmons and Ozzy in it. And I'm like, "Oh my god, I got to see this movie." And I loved it. I mean, even then at the time, I knew it was cheese dick, but I didn't care.
Well,
Uh,
but it was also at a time when this shit was going on, where
right,
the
and the Satanic
PMRC,
Panic was a very real thing. Like,
very real thing. So this movie really hit close to home for those kids like us that were into this stuff. I had a buddy commit suicide when I was in 10th grade, man. I mean, put a 22 in the soft palate behind his ear. That'll do it. That'll take care of it.
hmm
But the first words out of my ex stepmother's mouth, that fucking cunt bitch, were, well, don't you think it was the music he was listening to that caused him to do that? No, there was something going on at home. Something was wrong. Okay, good. I lived that. I lived this film minus being taken over by the demonic forces that were played through the back
Right.
mattress and played
Yeah,
the record
exactly,
backwards.
dude. Yeah, getting picked on,
A
getting
lot of
fucked with.
fun, 80s
Yeah.
cheese, practical effects, animatronics, boobs. It's got everything you want. Everything you want. Interestingly enough, they're talking about working with Gene Simmons. Ozzy was apparently a delight. Gene didn't want to do it. Apparently, he was a prick. But they're talking about how sinister he played the part. And when you go back and you look at some of these scenes that Gene was in, because he wasn't
Almost like
on the
he might have
movie.
been in on that shit.
Yeah, yeah.
I suspected because if you notice, there's that part where he's like, I think he would have wanted you to have this. And as Eddie leaves, he just has this weird look on his face,
Yeah.
almost like he was in on
They
Sammy's
touch
plan.
on that in the special features. I'm telling you, if for no other reason, the special features make this worth the buy. Trick or treat, not that stupid trick or treat with that
Where,
pumpkin head stupid thing.
where
The
did you get it from?
greatest. Amazon.
Amazon? Okay, man.
Amazon.
I'll get me a copy because yeah, just because it's a hoot, man.
It's my all-time favorite horror movie. I'm not a big horror genre fan, but you gave me everything that I love. You gave me a killer fucking soundtrack. You gave me two of my heroes when I was a kid. One still is. I don't care if he's a prick, but Gene is always going to be a hero of mine. I'll probably cry when he dies. Boobs. Come on, the whole car scene with the demon flopping his tongue out on them tits. Come on, what kid didn't want to be that demon?
Right, right, right. Um,
And the great Dr. Fuck made a tribute to this movie
yes, he did.
on his,
6 Metal Crush.
yeah, on Melting Your Skull.
Yes.
Big shout out to Ralph Vieira, Dr. Fuck and Thrash or Die. That's
Oh,
all I have for new stuff that I've either been rediscovering or
well, I have
new
more.
stuff.
Is it okay if I just go through them real
Knock them
fast?
out, man. Knock
Okay,
them out.
cool. After Crypt, I had Hatchet, thrash metal band. Their latest album, Leave No Soul. They've been around for a number of years. Really, really cool. I got Kerry King's lack of a band, but his band,
Oh,
Kerry
the Kerry
King from
King
Hell I
band.
Rise. Got Phil Dimmel from Violence and Machine Head on guitar. He's got fucking Paul Bostaph on drums. He has I forget the dude on bass. I think it might have been from Hell Yeah. And then you have Mark Osegwa, Osegwa from Death Angel, and you know me, I'm a huge Death Angel
Yeah,
fan.
yeah.
Really good stuff, man. Even Bill likes it. He's like, "Oh wow, I can actually enjoy Kerry King because he's got a real vocalist." I'm like, "Okay, okay."
Oh boy. Yeah,
Uh,
because it's basically Slayer with a different singer
right. Well,
musical.
I've noticed Mark does seem a bit more aggressive with this than he seems pretty aggressive on Death Angel. But yeah,
Yeah,
then you got the new Havoc thrash metal band, been out for a number of years, part of the whole new wave of thrash metal. New Eyes, they're from Colorado. A great stoner metal, doom metal band, Orange Goblin. They got their latest release, Science Not Fiction. Really, really cool.
nice.
Deep Purple, man, number one. That's the name of the album. Came out last year. I think this new guitar player they got is really giving him a shot in the arm. Steve Moore's a good guitar player, but I don't. Yeah, this guy, man, this is the best Deep Purple I've heard. Like, I'm talking an entire cohesive album in a long time.
Nice.
Fit for an Autopsy, death metal, extreme metal, metalcore, deathcore band. The Nothing That Is, they're really cool. Um, uh, Oceans of Slumber, another really cool band. Where Gods Fear to Speak, they're really heavy, bushy. I think you'd like them. Acid Mammoth, a father and son doom metal band from Greece.
Wow.
And the name of their album, they've got several ones, but the latest one, Supersonic Mega Fauna Collision. Yeah, Supersonic Megafauna Collision. We have Fu Manchu, another really cool stoner
Wait, did
metal
you just give me a
band.
Steel Panther record?
Yeah, called The Return. That's their latest album. Another great. Now these guys are considered what they call epic doom metal. Ralph's big on them. Crypt Sermon, their latest
Oh,
album,
I love
Indian
Crypt
Rose.
Sermon.
Great stuff. Of course, Black Country Communion, the super group with Joe Bonamassa, Glenn Hughes, and of course, um, Jason Bonham.
Yeah, good stuff.
Their fifth album, all titled Five with the Roman numeral. Uncle Acid and the Deadbeats, Neil Ora Blue, almost like it's like a soundtrack to an Italian horror movie that doesn't exist, but goddamn, is it good stuff, man.
Yeah, I'm going to have to keep trying them. I've tried them a couple times. Maybe I don't get it. I know Wadzilla loves them. You've
I like them
recommended
a
them
lot.
several
Yeah,
times. I'm going to have to check them out again
yeah,
because
yeah.
I haven't gotten it. And I'm the guy that can go from the Dead Kennedys and
Smoke some of
Sex
your
Pistols.
THC, your vape, and then listen to them.
Yeah, right. Hit some Delta and then
I'm I'm
give it a
serious.
slurp.
I'm totally serious because that's the kind of that's to me that's the music you do that shit to. If you want to, whoa, I'm telling you, man, that's how I've always
See,
gotten
when
into
I
stealth
want to
metal, doom metal.
low, I tend to Pink Floyd.
Yeah. Well, I love Pink Floyd, but I'm just telling you, man, just if you're going to listen to it, you got to be in a certain mood. Make sure you're well and baked before you play it, because then you might be like, oh, I like this.
Speaking of Floyd, when does the Live in Pompeii concert? They're releasing that to DVD, right? Blu-ray?
I've heard, but I don't know the release date.
I don't either. I'll have to look into that.
We'll have to look that into that. And then another band, which I mentioned earlier, Free Field. They're a psychedelic rock band from our very own St. Louis Metro East area. I really dig them. And then my last two ones is the Melvins. Been around for a number of years. Their latest album, Tarantula Heart, really cool stuff. And then Lucifer, which is a doom metal band, doom metal, doom rock, with Johannes Santanas, the lead singer. This is their fifth album, just like with Black Country Communion 5, Lucifer 5. Really, really cool stuff. I really dig them too. I think you would like it, Bushy. And that's my recommendations. Those are my plugs for
I'm
the
going to have
entire
to
show.
throw one more that I just thought about. They've been around for a while. I know they
Okay.
have at least one album. You can find a slew of videos and concert footage on YouTube. Um, you have to be not so strong in your faith that you can't take a joke
Mhm.
because their satanic doo wop twin
I've
temple
heard about these guys. I think
turned.
Samuel Wetz told me
Yes, I was
about
going to
them.
say turned on to me by Samuel Wetz.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Dude, they are so much fun. I
What are
mean,
they called again?
Twin Temple.
Twin Temple. I think Sam sent me their stuff.
Dude, they are
I think
great.
he did, and I'm gonna have to check out more of their stuff because just the idea of a satanic doo wop, I'm like, I have to hear
Yeah,
this.
that's what it is. It's that curiosity, and you check it out, and it's like,
Because I don't know if you know this, but I actually
this is
love a
really
lot of
good.
I love a lot of that doo wop, that old doo wop stuff, man.
Yeah.
Frank Lyman and the Teenagers and that the Platters. I love that shit, man.
Well, it's a very modern take on doo-wop type
Yeah.
music, but man, it's it's fucking good.
Okay, here's somebody
It's
who
fun.
incorporated. Now she's pop, but she totally incorporated doo wop in her music, and that's that Megan Trainor chick. All about the bass. That's total doo wop, man.
Yeah,
You listen to it and the way she's doing the vocals, and
yeah,
it's like the beat. I'm like, it's all about that. I'm like, that's fucking doo wop, man.
yeah,
know?
yeah.
Anyway,
Check them
the
out.
other thing I wanted to play, and this is not music related, it's a Netflix series. It's based on a role playing game, believe it or not. It's been around since I think like the 80s called Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk 2099, I think, or
I've
something.
heard of Cyberpunk.
Um, oh, and the other thing I was going to mention, when we were talking about the satanic panic, that is very reflected. And I don't know if you've ever watched the series. I like it. There's 4 seasons out. I think they're going to do a fifth and final season. Stranger Things, and in the fourth season, they totally deal and talk about the satanic panic. Like it's kind of a theme in uh that show.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to give it a try. I watched the first episode, and when I say I watched the first episode, I don't think I could make it through half of it. I wasn't digging it, but I keep hearing
It's
great things. I'm gonna have
it's
to go back.
yeah. Yeah, 2077 is the name of the game, and then they did like um it's based on Cyberpunk, the video game Cyberpunk 2077, but the Cyberpunk universe was created by Mike Pondsmith, which the Cyberpunk universe is actually a tabletop role-playing game that was released in 1988, man. And yeah, but the series is called Cyberpunk Edge Runners. It's a Japanese. It's and that's another thing. It's cool. It's made by American and Japanese animators. It's really
Oh, it's a
graphically
cartoon.
violent, huh?
It's a cartoon.
Yeah, it is an animated series. It's a mini series. I think each episode's about half hour long, but graphically violent, fucking intense. I mean, very adult. It's not your kiddie cartoon at all. Um, I know some of us here have a problem with cartoons, but
Yeah.
and another thing, I'm going to fucking recommend it again, and you need to watch it because Bill watched part of it with me, and he liked it too. Fire and Ice, Ralph Bakshi, Frank Frazetta, motherfucker. If you like wizards, you're gonna like it. Watch the goddamn thing. It's on Amazon Prime. Done.
I will eventually get around to watching it.
Ah, close-minded. You fucking you contrarian fuck. You can, yeah, that's what you are, Bushy. A contrarian, closed-minded about some things. Anyway, fuck. You're getting better, but goddamn, Kiss is your number two fucking all album of all time. Elder. Fuck. What the fuck? Still can't get over that. Dose, folks. Dose. His number two of all time. Over albums like Rock and Roll Over. Okay. Though, interestingly enough, I just saw a dude do their top. These two guys are pretty cool. Um, they had Rock and Roll Over like way low on their list. I mean, they had fucking albums like Crazy Nights and I think maybe even Hot in the Shade higher. I'm like, yeah, I don't know what you boys are smoking, but you need to quit. You need to fucking quit, man. Good God. But
Because when you
all
go
right.
back, it's like rock and roll over. I mean, the opening track, cool. I like Hard Luck Woman. Well, yeah, Mr. Speed. I fuck
Take
that.
Me, Dr. Love, get the fuck out
Yeah.
of here, dude. Get the fuck out of here. Baby Driver, that fucking guitar, that
That
ace.
now that's a great jam.
Yeah,
I'm
fuck off,
not going to
man.
hate on Baby Driver.
Fuck off
Good
with that
album.
shit.
Good album.
Great album. One
Yeah.
of their best ever.
I will take the first three over that.
Hey, that's fine. I can handle that.
You just can't handle my love for the elder. Huh?
Even Baco, who loves the Elder, folks, by the way, loves the Elder. Okay, loves them, loves that album. Was like, what when you said that because you were crying to him. Remember, give me shit. He goes, "That's your number two, dude." No, Dose. Yeah, Dose, folks. His Dose Kiss album,
And number one's forever going to be the debut.
and
Forever.
that's fine. I can handle
Just
that.
because you
It's
can
the
see it over
blueprint. It,
here.
it literally, how many fucking songs, how many songs until they just, which I guess now they're going to do a Vegas thing,
Yeah,
whatever.
we're not even going to talk about that. It will never get off. We've already been talking for an hour and a half. But
No,
over here on the other side of my PlayStation, what you can see, those faces sticking out, that's a 3D
that's pretty cool, man.
of the debut album. Yeah.
Where'd you get that, man?
Mindy got it for me.
That's really
She's
cool.
always finding cool Kiss stuff. I have a frame, film frame
I got something that I
from
think,
Crazy Nights up there that she had found me, which is funny because it's got Love Gun era Kiss for the picture that you can see sitting up there. But the little film frame is actually from the Crazy Nights tour. It's kind of cool.
really weird.
Yeah.
Here you go. This is something I got a while back, and sad to say, it's kind of a sad story. The guy who owned the shop, the man I bought this for, is no longer with us. He was friends with our friend who we recently lost, Jason Reedy. And then like a month later, he was gone. He
Wow.
didn't even know he had brain. He had these brain. He just all of a sudden was dizzy and wasn't able to like control his motor functions. He gets checked out and finds out his brain's just filled with tumors.
Wow.
Within
Sad.
a couple of weeks, he was gone. And what was so weird is Bill had just talked to him because we were actually going to go to a few shows because he was distraught over Jason's death.
Mhm.
And his sister, who's also very close to Jason. So that poor gal, she's lost her mother in the holidays, lost Jason in January, and then her brother a month later.
Wow.
I'm like, but anyway, I got this. And I bought it from him.
Badass. That is badass. I've
Gene
got a
Simmons, the
I've got a
Alive
Gene
era.
up there. I don't know if you can see him. He's up there.
Oh, cool. Very cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
It's trying to remember which tour. Because we're fucking nerds like that.
that is the Destroyer rock and roll era. Rock and roll over era. And I love that
I
costume.
gotta dust him off.
Yeah, I
No.
love that costume too. Yeah, this one's Gene from the Alive era.
Yeah. And
I
this was what, Destroyer? Love
yeah,
Gun?
I would love to have Ace from that era too. I don't know if they ever made one. I don't know where that guy got that, but I love it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I have to have that. So I bought
Yeah.
it.
Same. Come on, it's fucking Gene, man. He's the man. I don't care.
Yeah.
He's a dick, but I love Dick.
Okay, dude. I don't know. I mean, I think Gene's a complicated guy. I think he's a guy that's multifaceted. I think Gene has a lot of great, wonderful points, and I think, yeah, he can be a douche.
Yeah,
I've
well,
heard
you know what?
stories.
If nothing else, he came to this country. He achieved the American dream through hard luck or hard work and perseverance. And he was a spoiled little mama's boy. Not
Yeah,
financially, because the woman worked three jobs just to keep a roof over their head. But he was a mama's boy. So
yeah.
and as an only child, his father left him. I mean,
Well, Paul says it in his book, Gene could do no wrong.
in his
From his
mother's eye.
mother. Yeah,
Yeah.
Gene could
Yeah.
do no wrong. And I think Paul's a little, if you read the book, I felt a little, there might have been some envy there, like, because I guess Paul didn't have the best relationship with his parents,
Right.
so but yeah, I think Gene's a guy that, because he says he goes, he can be a total dick, but he can also be the sweetest guy in the world. You just don't know. He's and Ace says everybody's like that. We all have sides to ourselves that, I mean, nobody's all good or all bad.
Right. Well, here's what's cool. I'm going to get this episode up. The video will be up
Okay.
tonight. I'll work tomorrow on the editing of the audio to get up on Podbean. Tomorrow night, as we're recording this, we're recording with Mark Taylor. That might be the last episode we record before Rockin' Pod. I don't know yet. I don't know. It depends on what your schedule looks like.
All right,
But
man. Well,
not
we'll talk
this
about that.
coming weekend, not this coming weekend, but next weekend, we are going to be in Nashville, Tennessee.
Yes, sir.
We're coming in Thursday, so we're coming in early.
Yep.
I imagine I'll be in town by about noon or so, Central Time.
Yeah, I don't know
I'm
exactly when
leaving.
we'll be able to get into our Airbnb.
That's fine.
Uh, so we might,
I need to show Mindy some things. I want to drive her over by the Opry, just show her a couple things. In
okay.
town, maybe go hit Broadway because I don't think we can even check into what, 4?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. You know, um, I want to see if we can arrange another interview and see what is going on with Miss Abby Kay. I know she plays the strip all the time. I follow her on TikTok as
Oh
such.
yeah, I'd love to go see her, man.
She's out there working every day. Not just Abby K band. She's got other stuff going on because if you're a musician in Nashville, that's what you do is you play all fucking day, it seems like.
Oh yeah, that would be
You'll
cool,
play for
man.
3 hours in this bar and then you go to the next bar. And these people, they don't get paid by the bar, they get paid by your tips. I thought that was like these motherfuckers are definitely the hardest working people in music. These people that
Yes.
play the Nashville strip, because it's not like,
Yeah, I'm gonna try to bring up some extra cash so I can do that. I mean, I'm granted I could use my Venmo or whatever to send them money, but that way it's just get cold hard cash. They don't have to worry about it, you
yeah,
know.
don't have to worry about
Yeah.
Uncle Sam dipping their fingers into the bucket. But yeah, man, if we can come across her, I don't know if we'll see her or not. I know she's playing most days. I always see her on the Tiki Talkie because I follow her on the Tiki Talkie.
All right, cool, man.
So yeah, we're about to be in Nashville, Tennessee. If you're not coming to Rockin' Pod Expo, why? It's Comic Con for metalheads and rock fans. Go! It's a great time. There's a lot of shit going on that weekend. Rockinpodexpo.com. That'll tell you everything we're doing. Get your tickets for these different things. We're only going to the pre-party, the Rare Hair show, and then doing the expo the next day.
I think Sunday, me and Travis Parada are going to probably do the whole punchlines and backlines thing or whatever that
Nice.
Courtney Cronin Dole does, and who knows? I mean, he's kind of like wanting to hang with us, so I'm like, if we go see, oh my God, I'm throwing her. You just
Oh,
said her
Abby
name,
K. Yeah.
Abby K. I'm because I'd like for him to check her out.
Well,
I know.
I want to go hit the strip anyway. I mean, come on, there's good
Yeah,
food down there. And I was telling her, I was like, you can find any kind of music you like except for hip hop. I didn't hear any of that down there.
yeah,
But the loudest street I've been on, and dude, that's including New York City, is
yeah.
Broadway in Nashville. And
Oh
it's
yeah, it was.
something going on in every building on
And there was
multiple levels.
every club had a different style of music. It
Yeah.
was crazy, man. It
You
was
got your
awesome. I
rock, you
loved
got your
it.
metal, you got your country. I heard a bluegrass kind of thing going on
I
there. I
heard
heard
the blues.
alternative going on.
I
Yeah.
heard fuck everything, just
Yeah.
about everything you can imagine. It was awesome. I can see why they call
Greatest
it Music City.
Yeah, greatest street in a city in this country, as far as I'm concerned. Now, look, I've only visited half of this country. I get it,
Yeah.
but I'm telling you, I've been to the biggest city in this fucking country, and that street's louder.
Right. Yeah, it
So
was great, man.
it's a great time. So yeah, we'll record tomorrow night. That's going to be a lot of fun. Uh, I think Mark thinks it's going to be a versus battle. I don't think it's a versus battle. I think we're going to be singing a lot of praises to both of these things. You'll have to tune in to the next episode to find out what that is. I'm not sure when I'll drop that one, but for sure, this will be up tonight on our YouTube page, the Plug Podcast YouTube page. Like, share, subscribe, especially share, get other people to come like it. We don't have a lot of followers on that page.
Yeah, we need to kind of boost that up.
Yeah.
Also, there's some things that Cranium's going to be doing. We're going to be doing Twitch and other things to kind of we're now that we got Guilty, you know how he is tech savvy. He's always, so he's wanting
Yeah.
us to have the station and to get more listeners. I mean, it's what it's all about, and we need to kind of be more, So I'm maybe later tonight when I have time, I'll share the shit out of the video version of our show.
Oh yeah, I will definitely get it
I'm
up.
definitely going to start doing more on social media with X and maybe even have my own Twitch account. I've got a Discord account. I'm going to start, not just relying solely on Facebook,
Yeah.
and
Well, I mean, we've been busy. Things been going on.
Right, but that's one of
Is
the
what it
goals I
is.
have here in the next few weeks. You know,
Yeah.
after Rock and Pod and everything, I'm gonna try to,
Yeah, because for me,
do.
I think the only other thing I have after Rock and Pod that's really pressing, because the festival I can go or not, it's whatever. You know,
Well, I got that trip that we're going to be going to Costa Rica at the end of the year. But that's the other major vacation I have
end of
besides.
October, I'm going on a cruise,
And this
for
is
a
in
week. So
December, right before the holidays, man.
nice, nice. But
Anyway,
yeah,
man,
we don't have to plug anything because we spent this entire show plugging everything
right.
to plug.
So to the listeners, keep fighting the good fight, stay metal to your dying breath, and we'll see you. Ozzy bless.
Absolutely. Bye, vinyl. We'll see you next time.